and welcome to another exciting episode of Conf42Cast. My name is Miko Pawlikowski, I'll be your guide, and today with me I've got Swapneelkumar Deshpande, author of Designing and Implementing Microsoft DevOps Solutions AZ-400 Exam Guide, second edition. Hello Swapneel, how are you today?
Hey, Miko, I'm very good. Thank you. And thank you for having me here.
Did I get the title right? It's a long title, AZ-400 Exam Guide.
It's mouthful, yeah.
But before we jump into that, as with every guest we have, we start you off with a difficult question. And yours is, if you could go faster than the speed of light, where would you go?
I would certainly try to go out of our Milky Way galaxy and would like to see, the different galaxies. If I could have that, superpower to go faster than the light and roam across the galaxies, like, intergalaxy traveler. Yeah.
Well, I imagine your Instagram feed would be amazing when you come back with all the things there. So, we don't have authors every single time we have an episode, so let's jump in straight to your book. First of all, would you like to tell us a little bit about yourself and why you ended up writing a book with such a serious title?
Okay, the title is not that serious. All right. About me, I have been in the industry for now almost 2 decades. All right. Been working on Microsoft platform since I think Delphi, Visual Basic, from long time back. So I have a rich experience across the development, working, executing the large scale enterprise projects. Coming to the, when we deliver the projects, the biggest challenge has been, okay, how to deliver the quality. When it comes to the quality, people want to be proud of what they delivered. But how do we ensure that everyone is capable or everyone is empowered to deliver that quality code out to the production? So that's where the DevOps, which is like a collaboration between the multiple teams, comes into picture. It is aware, it is people know about the DevOps in certain contexts, but there are tools how to use those tools. What are the different Azure products are there in the market which are going to be helpful to do this DevOps effectively. There was a need which I saw that the AZ-400 is, we'll talk about the AZ-400 in a while, but the AZ-400 exam is a comprehensive on the DevOps. So I thought this is a good opportunity and leverage my previous experience onto the DevOps and author this book.
I see. So you saw the need, and one day you woke up and you decided, it's time, I'm going to write a book about it.
When I interacted with the forums and interacted with the groups, we realized that, okay, each and every project, you take it the data, machine learning, AI, your normal web applications, mobile applications, different technology stacks. But what is a common there is your DevOps cycle, the tools which are there. So, which is essential for all of the folks to know about it. And there was opportunity as well. And that's where it was a long given thought. It was like, hey, using the groups, using the YouTube or some of the other groups, other meetup groups and everywhere. But yeah, this was the one of the better opportunity to author the book and share the experience and the knowledge.
Got it. And you're at the second edition now, right? So what was the first edition?
It was the same. The book version, the name was same. It was, I think, 3-4 years back. And the people who wrote it is Mike Van and Henry Bin. And they were quite happy that, the topics, the subject is still in demand and we are working on to the version 2. It was the same topic on this one.
Okay, so maybe let's try to demystify now the AZ-400 exam. What is that?
All right. So for the Microsoft has different exams, and for Azure related, they came up with the prefix as AZ, and the 400 is the number given for the DevOps related exams. So when we talked about the DevOps solution or AZ-400, it covers what is the DevOps, why do you need a DevOps, what is the SRE, what are the different tools for your dependency management, for your security. Like say for security, Azure has its own tool called Azure Security, Azure Defender. Then we have the for monitoring purposes, Azure Monitor, Azure Application Insights, Log Analytics. If we go a little bit forward, then we have the Kubernetes, we have the Kubernetes cluster then we have Azure App Services. All other services are there which are going to You have continuous integration, continuous delivery. In fact, now we have a GitHub as well, and with the GitHub there is a
Mhm.
GitHub Actions as well there. But AZ-400 covers, when we go through this exam, you will be the confident, the person will be the confident enough that yes, if there is assignment is there, they can deliver, they can work onto those assignments, or the person is little bit aware of the DevOps activities like using the Terraform scripts, ARM templates, like a little bit work onto the Kubernetes side as well. It will cover your level 200. So there are different levels like level 100, level 200, level 300. So this will cover until the level 200, and you go little bit deeper onto each of the chapters, each of the exercises. Then you will be the expert into the DevOps side. So the AZ-400 exam is the one-stop solution to understand various aspects of the DevOps.
And how much of that is actually Microsoft specific? Because what you're describing sounds fairly broad. How much of that is actually Azure or Microsoft specific versus, applicable anywhere?
So the concepts are pretty generic. All right. When we say, hey, I want a continuous integration, there are different tools. Like we have multiple tools in the market. GitLab is there, Jenkins is there, multiple things are there. If we go for dependency management for NPM, it's a different thing. For Java, there is a different thing. Then for Microsoft, for .NET, there is a NuGet. So there are different things in the market. But as a concept wise, when we talked about, okay, how do I deliver, how do I make it more effective formatting? Then the continuous integration is there, continuous delivery is there. How do you monitor your applications when you deploy to your mobile, to your website, or when we go for large scale application? When we say about the large scale, like you are running on, thousands of your app services are running the same code, or it's running in a different regions, then how do we monitor it effectively? That's where these tools which are coming from the Azure will come handy to us. And this exam focuses on those concepts and the tools which are developed by the Microsoft.
So basically, you've got everything that you're going to need if you're preparing for one of those exams. At the same time, you're going to learn a whole bunch of things that are applicable, I guess, regardless of the actual technology stack that you use.
True.
Tell me, which part did you find people were the most excited about? Because you're obviously touching a broad spectrum of things. When I read through the table of contents, you start with source control through continuous integration, build all the way to containers and stuff like that. I'm wondering, is there any particular one that people find the most exciting? How many questions do you get about the different parts of the book?
I mean, the feedback which I have is if the person is new, definitely they find the application insights or how to instrument your applications. They find it very interesting. The reason is the when we go to the cloud, hey, you cannot just debug your applications because it's a different thought process. To instrument your mobile applications, to instrument your web applications running on a large scale in the cloud, and then monitor those applications using the application insights, writing those queries and see that, okay, my application has, okay, these many different requests, these are my dependencies, this is my latency. When the person gets that visibility, people like that. And when they find it, okay, when I came to know about this tool, this is helping me a lot. And the second part is when we talk about the SRE, site reliability engineering. That's something the overall ecosystem is still catching up on those things. Okay, how to implement the SRE, or how to get to know about the SRE. Those are the two major things which I've seen people liking those about. People are, when they read about it, okay, this is something which has been very helpful for us. But there are different chapters as well there, which is about the Kubernetes cluster. There is a different sets of groups. If someone is a developer, they will talk about the dependency management, the instrumenting your applications. And if there is a testing person or who is there's a project manager, he will talk more about the, like, okay, I like the DevOps part. It's a different sets of chapters are there which are, and and all of these things are essential. We cannot just choose one. It goes as per your role, your role you are playing into the project.
Okay, so tell me what's gonna come in the third edition. What additions are you planning on making when you refresh the book the next time?
That has not been, we just settled down, all right. We just finished a couple of months back to finishing the second edition. I've been working with the Packt as a first time author for this book. The support from Packt was very nice, considering the timeline and considering the review process. They have very thorough review process across the contents, across the, and there are multiple review process there. Possibly as a next one, it could be focusing on a specific chapter as a security or specific onto the Kubernetes cluster. So it won't be this. This is a broad concept. Now we have to deep dive, like double click onto each of the section. That's where we will jump into. But there are different exams as well there. Like if we go for security, there is a thing 204 exam is there, but that covers only the security, like how to do a deep dive onto the security. Like say Azure Defender has multiple features. Like when you upload a file to the blob, it automatically scans for, is that like a malware, or is there a problem with that file. Not many people know about it, so when we deep dive onto those parts, nothing is planned at this minute, but let us see how things go after this.
Definitely. And you mentioned that the Packt team offered good support and review. But I was curious how your overall experience as a first-time author was. Did you have the classic, oh, this is great, oh no, I hate this, oh, I'm glad it's done kind of curve? Or was it all easy and nice and relaxed for you?
No, I mean, when I started, I was a lot excited. Let us get it going. Hey, my days are, I have the weekend off. I have these days holidays, so I could spend some time. I was I was like, okay, I can, not a difficult thing. I know everything about it. But when we sit down and try to articulate into the words, try to put it concisely into the chapters, that's where like, after first chapter, I was like, no, I don't want to do this again, because the experience, the revision was, there were multiple revisions coming around. The experience was like, it was worthwhile. I mean, it was a good learning curve for me as well. The support system, there was a support system available to me with from the Packt as well as my co-authors. So initially it was very bumpy ride. I mean, look, no, boss, I don't want to do it anymore now. But when I gradually from first to second to third, then I got a gist of it. Like, hey, how do we put it across? I think I will definitely do it one more time.
One more time. Just once. How long did it take you?
Initially the book was planned for 6 months, 6 to 7 months, but due to the some of the changes into the topics and the multiple revisions as well as the availability of the reviewers, it got a little bit delayed, and it took 9 months overall up to the final revision and the publication.
So almost on time. That doesn't sound too delayed.
9 months, like you want to get it done, because if you remember your first chapter, you wrote like 6 months back. What I was thinking, like, when you write your code, you write something, when you implement it, what was I thinking when I implement this logic?
Yeah.
Bring back that thought process, go into that kind of a zone where you align with your previous thought process, and don't go on rewriting the complete chapter. That is most. I mean, that's where we have to work on it more.
Definitely. Okay. So one more question for you. Looking into the future, and given your experience with this DevOps space, what kind of developments do you expect to become more and more significant? Are there any trends that you've been seeing become more important? Let's say if we talk about 2023, what would you expect to become, the next big thing?
I see the more interest around the Kubernetes. Definitely, the people want to go serverless. They do not want to own the servers. So more kind of like a platform as a service platform, or the serverless functions. If I talk about the deployment style, like, hey, this is the way I want to deploy my applications. So I would worry less about it, about the
Mhm.
scaling part, about the managing those parts. That's where the most companies will try to adopt it. They can, once you go to the Kubernetes, it becomes a neutral to the provider. Like the things can move from one cloud to another cloud, or from that cloud to your own data center, or it may be one of the machine which is running under your desk. So as well as that machine supports your infrastructure requirements. But it's very easy when you have Docker images. When you go for that kind of deployment, that adoption to the Docker, I see as more becoming more adaptable now. People will be running less across to the without Docker applications.
Oh well, not that long ago we were promised we would have flying cars by now, but sounds like serverless is the second best thing, and we're gonna have to make do with that.
I
Um,
agree on that one. And yeah, yeah.
it's not too bad, but I think I would have preferred the flying cars.
There was this question, but if you ask me about the flying cars, right? It's something like, hey, you just see up, okay, there is a flying car, going above my head. I don't want to go to the anxious mode. Like, okay, I don't know when it's going to have the glitch and going to fall or fall down. But fair enough. Yeah, it would be good to have the flying cars. Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. A little caveat, hopefully they're more reliable than most of the software out there. Don't want them to fall on the head. All right. Swapneelkumar Deshpande, author of designing and implementing Microsoft DevOps solution AZ-400 Exam Guide 2nd edition, everybody. Thank you so much for your time. Swapneel, for everybody who wants to grab a copy of your book now, where do they go? How do they buy it?
Okay, the book is available on Amazon. It's if you just search for the AZ-400 on Amazon, then you'll be able to find the link. And please buy it from the Amazon, or you can buy it from the Packt site as well.
And for anybody who wants to follow your adventures specifically, do you use Twitter, LinkedIn? What's the best way to connect with you?
The LinkedIn is the best way for me to connect to. So my LinkedIn is my name. So you just look for linkedin.com and Swapneel Deshpande. I'm reachable on LinkedIn and pretty responsive on LinkedIn as well.
Awesome. And with that, thank you very much. And I guess we'll touch again on the 3rd edition.
All right. Thank you very much. And it was a good experience. Thank you. Thank you very much again for having me.
Absolutely.